It is the Axe, a game that began back in 1892, and that is the prize of the day. Here come the California Golden Bears. They've been outstanding defensively here. The question today for them will be, can they score? The Haas Avocado kickoff, whether tailgating at the stadium or watching at home. Kick off your day with Haas Avocado. Right now, let's take it out of the field. Rebecca Harlow with Cal coach Jeff Tedford.
Thanks, Barry. Coach, it is absolutely electric in here. How do you play off this crowd when you got the big game at home?
Well, it's always exciting. Our fans do a great job, and our players are fired up. There's a big game, a lot of tradition. They're fired up for it.
When you take a look at Stanford, you got to stop that downhill run. How do you get that done today?
Well, we got to be very physical, hold our gaps, play very physical, and gang tackle.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that's Rebecca Harlow with Jeff Tedford. Of course, his coaching counterpart, Jim Harbaugh. Talk about a no-nonsense guy.
Really one of the best in America. What he's done at Stanford is nothing short of amazing, in my opinion. The way they run the ball and the way their quarterback plays, and the defense this year has been great.
Well, and with the big game comes craziness. It's just a part of the deal. We've already had it. We've already had penalties called, and we haven't kicked it off yet. And here's the little exchange as both teams came off, and there actually was a couple of punches exchanged. But the officials doing a pretty good job to take charge and get the two teams to their respective sidelines.
Flags were thrown, and even before the teams came out for warm-ups, guys just running around in shorts and long-sleeve shirts before the game, there was a lot of wolfing going on. So a lot of emotion here. Should last about 2 series in, and then we'll settle down and play some football. That's how these great rivalry games are.
I think that's right. Stanford, incidentally, did win the toss. They deferred, so Cal will get the football first. And it's going to be Coleman, Edmond, and Keenan Allen, the deep men for California. Whitaker to do the kicking for the Stanford Cardinal, and a good one. Big game for both teams. I mean, Stanford could turn a very good season into a historic season. They've only won 10 games 3 times in the long history of Stanford football. California trying to get bowl eligible. There were a couple of penalties, and the referee telling us how that enforcement is going to come, and it's going to come after the kickoff. Stanford's number 21, Jamal Rashard Patterson, we believe was involved in little fisticuffs, and he will be penalized. But it's not going to happen until after the kickoff. And we're hearing that we believe he has been ejected and will not play. And that could be a bit significant because Chris Owusu, normally the starter for Stanford and coming off a huge game last week, will not play. Meanwhile, Whitaker's kick deep into the end zone, no return by Allen. And the Bears will start at the 20-yard line. One thing we do know is that California's going to try to get the ball downfield if they can be.
Brock Manchin is the quarterback. Kevin Riley is out with a knee injury versus Oregon State that ended his career at Cal. Brock Manchin, big, strong guy, 6'5", 232-pound junior. This is his 3rd start. Got a strong arm, and they're just hoping he can complete some passes.
Well, I know they're going to try to stretch the field, and I would suspect sooner rather than later. Manchin coming off a game in which he only threw for 69 yards. And a fumble on the first snap, and Manchin gets right back on it. Not the start the Bears would have wanted for certain. Take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Phillips Televisions. Starting lineup and the offensive line, a good one. Schwartz with Summers, Gavin getting a start. Guarnero healthy for the first time in several weeks. Schwenke and Edwards, experienced offensive line, really for both teams. Vereen, key player, no question about it. Stanford knows that. They'll likely load the box. And it will be incumbent upon the Bears to try to stretch the field laterally. Give to Vereen. Vereen slips the 4th. Gets across the 25 all the way to the 28-yard line. Pickup of about 9. Shane Scove on the tackle for Stanford. Chase Thomas had a shot out of the backfield and couldn't hang on. Defensively for the Stanford Cardinal, Masafilo, Fua, and Bulkey up front. Linebackers, very active. Scove, Reesick, Thomas, all very quick, very active, very sure tacklers. And the secondary, Batamosi, stepping into the starting lineup. And again, a fumble, and this time Stanford says they have it, and they do. So 3 snaps, 2 fumbles, and now the Cardinal will have it deep in California territory. That center to quarterback exchange, inexperienced quarterback, those things just happen. And it was Matthew Masafilo who was there for Stanford to recover.
Well, you just can't have it in the first series of the game. You can't have it at all. Fumbled snaps a certain problem for Brock Manchin coming out of this game, and you have to say it's nerves. And that's a terrible thing to say about a young guy who's starting a big rivalry game, but he came out too nervous, fumbled 2 snaps.
Cardinal come with 2 tight ends on the first snap. They have a lot of personnel packages. Luck going to go up right now. Steps up, throws, and it is incomplete. A flag is down. So everything going wrong for the Bears. Steve Williams, who incidentally getting the start today ahead of Darian Hagan, who was nicked up, but we expect we will see him. Also Brian Nabufe at the other corner. Mark Anthony, normally the starter, also nicked up. May or may not see action today. And Stanford trying to take advantage immediately.
Steve Williams simply never got his head around, and that flag's going to come out
Pass
easily.
interference, defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Stanford trying to take advantage of the turnover and get it. Well thrown ball by Luck, you expect that. Williams never turned his head around. Was right on top of Baldwin. Easy call.
And a first down at the 11-yard line. Stanford, incidentally, has scored points on their opening drive in 7 of the 10 games they've played, and certainly in a great position to do it now. They have 3 tight ends in the ball game. Anthony Wilkerson, talented freshman, is the running back.
They have such incredible balance on their offense, Barry, between the run and the pass, and Luck's ability to escape. He's a good-looking drop-back quarterback, but this guy can really run.
Big guy, 6'5", 235. Hugely talented quarterback.
Even though it's loud in here, you might be able to hear him at the line of scrimmage, one of the loudest voices in all of football.
And this time they go unbalanced to the left. And a pitch to Wilkerson, cutback at the 10, and he's going to be stopped after a gain of about a yard. Very good playing to the ball by the Stanford defense. Here is Stanford offensively. They get it done on the offensive line. Rebecca Harlow mentioned almost all man-on-man blocking, and that allows the tight ends to spring themselves down the field. Whalen with Baldwin getting the start at wideouts. Marisic, of course, goes both ways. Taylor is the tailback, and he's back in the ball game now. Second down and 10, just short of the 11-yard line. This time, Luck rolls to his right. Now he throws, end zone, complete. And the Bears up to the task defensively. As good as Stanford has been offensively, the Cal Bears have been defensively. They have only allowed 3 touchdowns here in Berkeley. Cameron Jordan, certain first-round draft choice with Hill and Guyton. That's the 3-down lineman. Mohammed, Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against Oregon. And now Lucas comes into the ball game. He is the backup quarterback to Luck. So it's Lucas in the Wildcat with Marisic alongside.
There's Luck right here.
And Lucas going to keep it right up the middle, enough to do it. Great play by Cameron Jordan. And that shows you why he is a prospect like he is. So Cal really steps up defensively here.
Stanford tried an inside zone look with Andrew Luck spread out, and Alex Lucas, pretty good runner in his practice at wide receiver and safety at the quarterback position. Cal sniffed it out beautifully.
29-yard effort for Whitaker, 14 of 16 this year in field goal attempts. It is on its way, it is perfect. So Stanford draws first blood, they get on the board with 3. But nonetheless, a very encouraging defensive stand for the Cal Bears. They hold the Cardinal to 3, and we're coming back. Pac-10 College Football Saturday is presented by Phillips Televisions. So amazing, you won't be able to take your eyes off of it. And brought to you in part by Hass Avocados. Kick off your party with fresh, creamy Hass Avocados. Nothing else will do. And by Bank of the West, official bank of the Pac-10. Well, the Cardinal taking advantage of an early California turnover. 2 fumbles in the first 3 snaps for the Bears. Cardinal get it on a short field, have to settle for a field goal by Whitaker. And now Whitaker will kick off for the second time in the ball game. We'll see if things settle down a little bit. It's been a very hectic pace.
And that's what you expect with these kind of games, but this has been especially hectic here in Strawberry Canyon.
So Keenan Allen, the deep man, and he can go if he gets a chance. He might get a chance here. This one's going to take a funny hop. Allen runs up, takes him on the big hop. 10, gets the 20, trying to get the outside. He's the 30 to the 34-yard line. And you can see an exciting player in Keenan Allen. Now, before we even kicked it off, we talked about the fact there were penalties. Here's what happened. This is before the captains met for the coin toss. A lot of yakking going on. Moncrief comes up to Rashad Patterson, and Patterson simply punched him and was ejected. And I'll tell you what, Jim Harbaugh went after him like a shark, as well he should.
He's very angry, and that is a long, lonely walk for Rashad Patterson, and he's all alone in that locker room.
Not the way he wants to see the big game.
Certainly not. He lost control of his emotions.
So straight back Manchin over the middle. That's Keenan Allen, and a pickup of about 5. Time now for Phillips Television's Game Break. Let's check in for the first time today with Darren Horton. Darren.
Well, Barry, check out the uniforms that Miami and Virginia Tech are wearing today. Hurricanes in the bright orange with green helmets. Stephen Morris and Leonard Hankerson. Miami likes the uniforms so far. Both teams still alive in the ACC Coastal race. Virginia Tech can clinch with a victory. Barry?
All right, thanks very much, Darren. A little garish, I think, huh?
Hey, I like those Miami unis.
In the Wildcat, the Bears now. And this is Keenan Allen again. Allen's going to get the first down.
Barry, we discussed it a whole bunch. Cal, in order to loosen up this Stanford defense in this game with a backup quarterback, Brock Manchin, playing, is not only going to have to stretch the field vertically, they're going to have to stretch it east to west, side to side. And in the Wildcat, they can do that with guys like Vereen, E.C. Cifelli. You talked about how exciting a player Keenan Allen is, along with Robert Woods at USC, the best freshman receiver in the Pac-10.
So the Bears with the first down just short of the 45-yard line. And to give this time, Mr. Vereen. Vereen gets through the gap. Gets it to midfield, a pickup of 6. Austin Yancey on the stop. Now the Bears moving it offensively.
They did a good job on first down, calming Brock Manchin, the junior, down at his 3rd start. We had the 2 fumbles in the last series for Cal. Manchin relaxing early, throwing the ball, getting it to Keenan Allen on a short pass, just trying to get the young man with his bearings about him so they can go forward in this game.
This time they slot the tight end.
He's got to take him the distance.
Manchin going to go up, steps up, throws. Ball's caught this time by Sparks for a first down at the 41-yard line.
This is nice play calling between Jeff Tedford and his offensive coordinator, Andy Ludwig, just trying to settle Manchin down with short throws. And the throws are there for the Cal offense. They're doing a good job now executing on this drive. And it starts with the run and the physical play of Shane Vereen. He's looked good so far.
Yes, he has. And that kind of play calling will get Stanford out of loading the box. This time Calvin comes in motion to the long side of the field. And he gave this to Vereen. And Vereen finds a little bit of an opening and gets it ahead for about 3. Maybe 4 yards on the play on a good individual effort by Shane Vereen.
What a nice collision from the fullback, Eric Stevens, against Stanford's fullback and inside linebacker, Owen Marisic. Eric Stevens is probably the next Owen Marisic in the Pac-10, one of the better blocking fullbacks in the country, but he doesn't get a lot of attention in the Pac-10 because Marisic is a 2-way player and such a good linebacker. But I tell you what, Eric Stevens got the better of him on that play. Nice positive gain for Cal.
Marisic played over 100 snaps last week. Here's a double reverse, and this is Keenan Allen. Gets to the gap, gets to the 30, down to the 25. First down, Bears. Sione Fua, Delano Howell make the stop.
Tell you what, Keenan Allen is just a freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. But here late in the year, he runs the ball with patience like a senior. You see him bubbling, making the cuts, protecting the ball through the contact zone. Lano Hal is a big hitter. You have to know where he is. Nice run, though, and a great play call again.
This time they bring Vereen in motion out of the backfield. Mansion straight back. Has time. Throws for Vereen. Can't get it. A little too far. Well covered that time by Marisik. Let's go to the sideline right now. Rebecca Harlow has more on Brock Mansion. Rebecca.
Yeah, guys, well, that last toss a little too far, but Brock is getting in extra reps down here on the sideline during that last defensive possession. He grabbed one of his teammates, got in about 15, 20 extra throws, so he's definitely working to stay loose down here on the sideline. Meanwhile, his teammates are telling him, hey, just do your job. You don't have to be Superman. Just do what you practice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what Jeff Tedford told us when we spoke with him yesterday.
When he's able to stand in the pocket, he can really deliver a crisp ball.
Give to Vereen. This time Vereen no place to go. Going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Bears will be looking at a 3rd and long. Vereen, incidentally, in the big game last year, 42 carries, 193 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, a career game. Stanford making defensive substitutions. They go with the nickel defense now. It's Harold Bernard comes in. 6 defensive backs for the Cardinals. Mansion throws off his heels, too short, intercepted. Sherman was right there. The man was open. It was intended for Lagerman. And that was a ball that Brock Mansion would dearly love to have back.
2 possessions for Cal with the inexperienced quarterback, and 2 turnovers for Cal with the inexperienced quarterback. There's Jeff Tedford talking to him. They said he handles mistakes pretty well, doesn't let himself get too down. Nice play by Sherman, but a poorly thrown ball by Mansion.
Yeah, it was. Lagerman was open by a couple of steps, underthrown ball, picked for Stanford. Cardinal has it when we come back. Cardinal lead it 3-0. They'll have the ball after the interception, and that was a case of Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong.
Well, Brock Mansion does feel the pressure. Stanford runs a loop and gets after him pretty good, but the footwork is just poor in the situation. He starts to drift away and throws the ball off his back foot, pops it up there. He's a strong-armed guy. He should have just fired it, used that strength.
Stanford starts at their own 5-yard line. They lead the nation in time of possession. Long count by Luck. Give to Taylor, and Taylor will get about 4 to about the 9-yard line. Stanford 17th in rush yards in the nation. They average 213 yards a game.
They run the ball beautifully, and it's almost an antiquated style of running the football, especially when Stanford goes to their power game, but they also have a lot of zone capability. Really one of the most multiple teams in America with formations out of their run game.
You can see Stanford's rushing yards per game, very consistent. Crowd getting into this. Here's Taylor again. Taylor on the cutback across the 10 to about the 11. It'll be 3rd down about 4. Sean Cattouse on the tackle. P, let's talk about keys to the game, first of all, for the Cardinals.
Well, the Stanford Cardinals have been playing great all year. They just have to play to the rivalry. Jim Harbaugh's made a big deal about the rivalry. He's not trying to play it down. They've lost a lot of these recently. They have to be themselves, run the football, be balanced with Andrew Luck, and just calm down. They can handle this football game as long as they don't make a bunch of mistakes.
Looking at a 3rd and 4 right now. Stanford, very effective in 3rd downs. They also lead the nation in that department.
I'd say.
Luck going to put it up. Blitz comes. Luck throws. Airs it out deep. A lot of bumping. No flag. Incomplete pass. Well, there is a flag at the line of scrimmage. So we'll see about that one. Cardinal.
Offside defense, number 30.
Another mistake by the
5-yard
Bears.
penalty will result in a 1st down.
So far, Cal self-destructing.
They got Michael Kendricks, the outside linebacker, who's been around the line of scrimmage the entire game at the snap. Another mistake.
Yeah, there have been 3 of them so far for the Bears. And we're just past the midway point in the first quarter. Jeremy Stewart in at running back now. As you mentioned, the Cardinal will play 5 running backs in this game. This is Stewart. And Stewart falls right as he got to the hole, and there was an opening there.
Nice block by Owen Marisik pinning down Michael Kendricks, and there was a beautiful hole for Stewart to get through, but he slipped. All part of the nerves of a rivalry game. Everything seems to go a little faster in a rivalry game. Even though you've been playing the entire year and playing Pac-10 games, these guys are very versed in doing what they do, but something about the electricity of a game like this, the melee before it starts, and guys make mistakes.
2nd and 11, and right now they got Taylor over there all by himself. Now he comes in motion. Empty backfield, now Taylor comes back, lines up in the backfield. Luck straight back, throws underneath, catch made by Ruler. And it'll be a gain of about 4, run out of bounds by Mike Muhammad. Call it a 5-yard gain. It's got to be 3rd down and 5 now for the Cardinals. 2 tight ends, Fleener and Hurts. Another 3rd down situation for the Cardinals. They got a gift the last time. Luck out of the gun. Blitz comes off the edge. Luck steps up. Now he's going to run. He's got the 1st down and more. 30, 35, 40, 45 to midfield. Trying to get to the outside. Knocks people over as he does. Now he's got some blockers all the way down to the 21-yard line and out of bounds. And that's not the first time Andrew Luck has done that. 58 yards.
That's what makes him so difficult to defend. He sees the whole field. He's got a great pocket presence, and he's fast. He gets out. He's big. Here comes Katuska to try to put a hit on him, and Luck just absorbs it, knocks him down, and then takes off again for the sideline. The guy's just an incredible talent.
That is unbelievable. You're right. He knocked him over.
Katuska's a big hitter at 215, but you got to wrap a guy like Luck up. He just stands there and kind of looks at him after he knocks him over and then takes off again down the sideline.
That could cause a standing 8.
That was a big-time play by Andrew Luck. That was a highlight reel play. First of all, for the feeling in the pocket, and then the speed to get out of the pocket, and then the power to run over a safety.
That was the longest run of his career and his 3rd 50-yard-plus run this season. Cardinal lead it by a field goal, but they have it at the 21-yard line. What a big-time play that was.
Unreal Elway-esque type of run from Andrew Luck. Power, speed, and vision, all from the quarterback position. And watch him run over Sean Katuska, absorb the hit, knock him over, look at him, and then take off down the field.
58 yards, longest run of his career. First down Cardinal at the 21-yard line. Here's a reverse this time. And it's Baldwin on the carry, and Baldwin inside the 20 to about the 17. Well defended by the Bears that time. Brian Nabufe there to make the stop. Pickup of about 3. And there are the numbers on him. He's 2nd leading rusher at Stanford this year. 785 yards.
And he's a 70% passer.
That's pretty good.
The guy's amazing.
And he really, he's always quick to deflect any kind of compliment.
They're a very balanced football team, and they don't play to feature him. He just does what he has to do.
Luck straight back. Good protection again. He steps up, floats it to the end zone. That's a hold, and there's the flag. I mean, you cannot dispute that one.
No, the only thing you could say is that maybe Whalen didn't have a chance to catch that ball, but Brian Nabufe definitely had a handful of Ryan Whalen's jersey. Luck really threw it out there, so Whalen would be the only one with a chance to catch that ball.
officials discussing this, and they may be discussing the very thing you spoke of, that perhaps an uncatchable
Pass
ball,
interference.
but no.
Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Remember, the Bears going with backups at both corners. Watch them just grab a handful.
Might have had a shot at that ball. He left his feet.
He had that number 8 turned so much sideways it looked like the infinity symbol.
Yeah, it did. Stanford inside the red zone, really going after these Berkeley corners.
So a first and goal. Now again a discussion amongst the officials. Now they mark it at the 3-yard line. Taylor is the tailback, Marisic the fullback. 3 tight ends for the Cardinals. Taylor straight ahead, touchdown. They just knock you back off the ball. It's just that simple.
That's exactly what they do. Power, beautiful block by Jonathan Martin. Left tackle, great coming through by Marisic. Taking it out on Sean Cantus. Easy touchdown. That's what they do best.
Yeah, I mean, that, in microcosm, that is Stanford football, what you just saw. Whitaker tries to add the 10th point here. And does. And with 3 minutes, 46 seconds remaining in the first half, Stanford leads it 10-0. Cal got to get a wake-up call. Yeah. Well, it's not just a big game. It's big game week here in the Bay Area. Luncheons almost every day. This is the biggest one. It's the Guardsman's Luncheon. It's been going on for many, many years, 61 to be exact. It takes place at Fairmont Hotel. Jim Harbaugh, hey, how you doing? Jim Tedford, hey, how you doing? And both of them would much rather be back on the field coaching, which is what they feel their job is.
Or in a dark room watching film.
Exactly. Keenan Allen at the 1-yard line. Trying to get the outside, and this time he does not get to the gap. And Ahmad Namojoy gets him for the Cardinal, and we'll take a Phillips Television's game break. Let's check in right now with Derek Horton. Derek.
Bury an old school battle at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Northwestern and Illinois playing the first college football game there since 1938. They tried to keep the teams out of the east end zone for safety issues, but nothing you can do on a pick six. Northwestern's Brian Peters brings it 59 yards on the interception right now, 21-7 Illini.
Thank you very much. Playing with one end zone, only going west.
Well, as long as you don't throw it into that east end zone, it's going to be okay.
That's all right. Yeah, here's Safila trying to get the outside, and Stanford doing a pretty good job getting to the edge faster than did Safila. So far, Cal self-destructing.
Well, that's a second fumbled snap that Stanford falls on. The first one, Cal was able to get back. And then Manchin, after we talked about how good he is throwing, standing straight up in the pocket, throws it off his back foot and gets picked. Here he's got another shot.
And then, of course, a 5-yard penalty on a 3rd down situation deep in Stanford territory. Gave the Cardinal the first down. And the pass interference gave him another one. Quick pass this time. A catch made by Sparks close to the first down. 2 catches for Sparks. Really listed as the number 3 tight end, but Anthony Miller is nicked up and may or may not play today. Keys to the game for California, brought to you by Chrysler.
Well, just like they did right there, they have to continue to complete passes with Brock Manchin. And on the edges, especially with guys like Keenan Allen and Marvin Jones, they have to be able to exploit one-on-one matchups and throw the ball down the field once Manchin gets comfortable. They're a ways from that right now, though.
The Bears were able to move the ball. Miller, incidentally, is in the game now. So good news for California. Give to Vereen, and Vereen, a little cutback out across the 25, close to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Phillips Televisions. Vereen gets 4 on 1st down. Bears moved the ball well their last possession.
I'm still shocked thinking about that Andrew Luck long run.
It was something special. You think NFL scouts didn't sit up in their chairs when they saw that?
Jeez.
They stopped throwing to the wrong side of Vereen. He was looking inside shoulder, and Manchin threw it outside.
It was a correct read and a great job by Vereen to get his head around after seeing the blitz from Chase Thomas. Manchin delivered the ball to the right guy, but like you said, Mary, just the wrong side of him. Another mistake by Brock Manchin.
Manchin 3 of 6, 23 yards, but the pick was the big one.
Big third down here. Cal needs it. They need to stay on the field.
Third down and 6. Cardinal in the nickel defense. Manchin throws over the middle. Catch made. And a nice grab that time by Marvin Jones, and he hangs on. The flag is down. So let's see about the flag. It's pass interference against Stanford.
Might be on Barry Browning, who was right on top of Marvin Jones, even though the ball was delivered very well by Brock Manchin. Nice recovery after the poor throw on second down. There it is, just a slant by Jones.
Yeah, he wrapped him up.
Browning was there just a bit early.
Pass interference, defense. Penalty is declined, first down.
So again, the Bears picking up first downs, moving the football, but mistakes so far have hurt them.
The confidence of Brock Manchin going forward in this game is paramount. They have to continue to complete passes and supplement the run game with Shane Vereen.
So far, the offensive line of the Bears has held up very well. Manchin steps up, throws deep over everybody's head. No! Jones somehow got to that ball. That looked like it was going to be thrown out of the yard. Sherman now covering. Jones just had it go off his fingertips.
We talked about the one-on-one matchups. That was one that Manchin liked. Marvin Jones against Richard Sherman. Delano Howell came in and was in position and just got a hold of that left arm of Jones. Not a bad throw. Could have been a completed ball if Marvin Jones wins that jump ball. Not a bad decision. Cal wants to throw it down the field.
Flag down again. Vereen gets a little gap, gets into the secondary, has a first down, but we'll see about the penalty. Gets all the way to the 39-yard line. Cardinal thinking that this is against the Bears, however.
Illegal formation, offense, too many men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Again, a Bears mistake. 5th penalty already against California. That will not make that man happy. So instead of a first down, Manchin now looking at a 2nd and 15. Manchin came on when Kevin Riley got hurt, gone for the remainder of the year. Again. And I think might have been procedure. It is procedure against Cal.
Illegal snap, offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I'm going to show you what happened to Kevin Riley, but if you're squeamish, look away. This is not pretty.
Just went right over that knee, a hyperextension. Winningest quarterback in the Pac-10. Most experienced quarterback in the Pac-10. An unfortunate end to that young man's career at Cal, which was a real roller coaster ride. And here's Brock Manchin, a strong team guy.
2nd and 20. There's a bubble screen to Allen. Great job trailing the play. Richard Sherman played it perfectly.
He did, and he's pumped up in this game after getting that interception. Cal, on the other hand, you just can't overcome mistakes like that. 2 straight penalties at the line of scrimmage, and you just have to believe without Kevin Riley, they're out of rhythm with Brock Manchin at quarterback. They're just not used to him yet.
3rd and 22. Yeah, they all turn up for the big game. And with that, we're going to come to the end of the first quarter, a quarter that was dominated by Stanford, but really, other than the one big offensive play by Andrew Luck, it was more about the California mistakes that were the story of the first 15 minutes. 10 points, all coming off of turnovers. Second quarter action coming up. The Bears just hope they can start taking care of the football. We'll have a 3rd and long when we come back to Strawberry Canyon after this. Stanford leads it 10-0 as we start the second quarter of play. Numbers in the first quarter presented by eHarmony. It was all Stanford. 69 rushing yards, 58 coming on one run by Andrew Luck.
And look at the 6 passing yards, 1 for 2 for 6 yards by Andrew Luck. But this is the run we're going to be talking about for a while. I hate to make that Elway comparison, but that's how he did it in college in the first half of his NFL career. When he decided to go, he could go. And that's what Andrew Luck's doing here. And physical finish to the run, and then he takes off again for the sideline. 6 yards passing, and they're winning.
Yeah, and Cal had the ball twice as much in that first quarter as Stanford, which leads the nation in time of possession. Manchin needs a whole bunch here. Now he steps up, throws underneath to Vereen. Vereen, no place to go. Manchin probably would have been better served just to tuck it away and see what he can do. So the Bears will have to give it up once again. Drew Terrell will be the deep man for Stanford. Brian Anger to do the punting for California, and he's a good one. Anger hits a twisting kick. Fair catch called by Terrell and made at about the 14-yard line. And we go down to the sideline once more. And Rebecca Harlow. Rebecca.
Well, guys, a whole lot of rain last night didn't stop one of the biggest, best, and most sacred traditions of the big game here at Berkeley. It is the Bonfire Pep Rally. It's also the Pac-10 Passionate Moment presented by Bank of the West. The entire football team, droves, hundreds of fans come on out to pump up the football team, support them as they head into the big game, enjoy a little fire, too. I talked up with Senior Chris Guarnero, and he tells me this goes down as one of his favorite traditions of the big game.
One of many. Thank you, Rebecca. Cardinal have it now at the 14-yard line. Luck, play fake, rolls right. He can run. Going to throw instead. The catch is made underneath by Ryan Whalen.
And that's just his 3rd pass of the game. Andrew Luck, and he's a Heisman candidate, but Jim Harbaugh doesn't care about that. He's committed to creating play action off the power run game.
And now they go with a hurry up, and Stanford doesn't usually do that. Now they hustle players off and 2 more players on. And shift people. They give you a lot to think about, I'll tell you. This is Anthony Wilkerson, talented freshman, nothing doing. Stopped before he could get to the line of scrimmage by Brian Nabufe. Well, we talk about the Heisman Trophy. This is the time that there will be a lot of talk. Cam Newton, well, front runner, but nobody knows. Big question mark over Cam Newton. Well, Michael James, of course, one of the leading rushers, the leading rusher in the nation, averaging 158 yards. Kellen Moore, and you can make a pretty good case for Kellen Moore. I think he's an outstanding quarterback. But I'll tell you what, the guy we're watching right here, I mean, he's got to, at the very least, be in the conversation. Here's Andrew Luck again, steps up over the middle, catch made, Whalen, first down at the 39, right about the 40-yard line. Sean Cattouse defending, and he delivered a bullet.
That's a great throw by Luck, and we just talked about that antiquated approach that Jim Harbaugh has. Run the ball, play action. Jim Harbaugh's not concerned about padding Luck's stats for the Heisman with 45 passes every week. It's about being true to the system.
And a great feel for the pocket. Now you saw him come off his primary receiver, just got that over the outstretched hands of one of the interior linemen and puts it right in the belly of Ryan Whalen. First down at the 40-yard line. 2 tight ends for the Cardinal again, and the timeout quickly called by Luck as he felt his team could not get lined up properly.
Well, the guy's great at the line of scrimmage. He's great standing up and throwing in the pocket. He's great on the move, and he's great running down the field.
Other than that, though, 10-0 ball game, 12:36 remaining first half. 10-0 ball game, 12:36 remaining to be played here. Well, we talk about Andrew Luck, what a great player he is, but he's really a special guy off the field as well. Here he is earlier in the year. That's he and his dad watching his sister, Mary Ellen Luck, play on the Stanford volleyball team. Oh, by the way, one of the best volleyball teams in America.
Oh, he's getting real pumped up watching that game. Father Oliver Luck looking on as well. Great competitive family.
I'll tell you. First down, Stanford at the 40-yard line. Here's a pitch to Wilkerson. Wilkinson gets it across 45 with a field strike down about the 46-yard line of Stanford. And this guy, I really believe, is going to be something special. Just a freshman, and he's one of a number now at Stanford because they do play 4, sometimes 5 running backs. But this guy is going to be a name to tuck away.
He's probably their best all-around back. And look at David DeCastro, number 52, out there in front, just cleaning up. Steve Williams made it pretty easy for Wilkerson. Move the ball down the field. Well executed.
First down at the 46-yard line of the Bears. And a give again to Wilkerson. Not this time. Got about a yard. Well, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the United States Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching us today around the world. In Iraq, in Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan, and we welcome and thank all of you. Second down 9. Big Fleener in motion. They'll run him down the field sometime. Straight back goes Luck. Steps up. Now he throws. Too tall, almost picked. Intended for Ryan Whalen. Threw it in the only place that Whalen was going to be able to make the catch. Sean Cattouse defending.
Did a nice job by Michael Kendricks putting pressure on Luck, hitting him right in the chest. Couldn't knock him down, but he got a good hit on him, and I think that caused the pass to be a little bit off.
Sky's getting a little darker here at Strawberry Canyon. Rain is, as we said earlier, in the forecast. Hasn't quite come yet, though.
Big for Cal's defense.
Third down long. Stephon Taylor, the tailback. Luck straight back. Blitz comes. Luck steps up. Now he throws. Got a man wide open. It's Whalen, the other Whalen, that is Griff Whalen, for a big first down to the 16-yard line, a gain of 26. And again, coming off his primary receiver.
Well, watch him stand in the eye of the storm, steps up in the pocket, sets his feet, delivers the ball beautifully. Griff Whalen got behind Sean Cattouse.
And now here's a shift. They bring Luck out to a wideout spot. Lucas going out of the Wildcat. Now Lucas is going to run it. He's got a wall of blockers. He's the 15, the 10, the 5. Dragged out of the 1-yard line. DJ Holt, a great effort to save a touchdown for the Bears. But a well-executed play. That looked like the old single wing.
That's exactly what it was, Barry. Alex Lucas starting off here, and he's going to go back and then set up his blockers on Marisic, leading him through. Pretty good speed to make up for the Cal defense, DJ Holt.
Here's that giant. They call it the giant walking into the end zone is Stephon Taylor. They call her, when they load the offensive line with nothing but power guys, they call it giant. They didn't even need that much. Got the one ceiling block, and Taylor walked into the end zone.
That was all done within the run game. A couple nice throws from Andrew Luck on the drive, but the last 2 plays just beautifully set up. Alex Lucas runs a single wing with Marisic leading through, but he can't get all the way. O-line cleans it up and finishes the job.
Whitaker adds the 17th point, and with 10:44 to go in the half, the Stanford Cardinal taking control of this football game. They lead it 17-0. Well, if you think it's cold here, you ought to try it out on that little island over there, a little place called Alcatraz. And it gets mighty chilly there. And it's mighty chilly here in Strawberry Canyon.
Colder on the Cal sideline.
Yeah, it is. So Whitaker will kick it away once again. He's been one of the busiest guys on the field today. Keenan Allen at the 1-yard line. Gets to the 15, gets the edge this way, cut it back. And is dropped at the 25-yard line. I think he's going to see when he looks at the film that he might have had that line right now. Time for Phillips Television's game break. Let's check in once more with Darren Horton. Darren.
Barry and Baton Rouge, number 5 LSU, one of those one-loss teams hovering. Stephen Ridley having a big day, his second touchdown. Bengal Tigers right now with a 17-10 lead in the second. Barry.
They are pretty tough down there. So Cal just trying to overcome itself. Fumble, interception, costly penalties. A little bit of a draw play, absolutely nothing. Chase Thomas was having none of Shane Vereen. Here's what's befallen the Bears. 3 plays, they fumbled actually twice. The second one recovered by Stanford. Then a pick at the 5-yard line and a punt.
After 2 penalties, they had to punt that ball. 2 procedure penalties. So mistakes have plagued Jeff Tedford's team. And you have to say, the inexperienced quarterback right at the center of it all.
Second down and 12 now. Mansion straight back. Now he's going to roll away from pressure. And now he throws. He's got Allen. He overthrew it.
That's just not his strong point. Throwing the ball on the run. His interception came when he was on the move. This also came when he was on the move. You see Allen working on Richard Sherman. A lot of contact there. Allen does a good job getting away from him and creating some space, but Mansion couldn't deliver it.
And here they are again at a 3rd and long. And I should point out, Stanford's pretty much doing this with a 3-man rush. They have not blitzed a lot today.
Huge for Cal to possess the ball here and try to get a first down, keep their defense off the field.
Now they show blitz, and here they come. They bring 5. Mansion rolls away once again. And now he's going to tuck it away, try to run, and he will have the first down, but he lost the football. And the Bears got on it, I believe. He just had that football swatted right out of his hands.
Lagerman came up with it. If you're going to take it to the sticks like that, especially in a game like this, you have got to protect that ball with both hands. And you see that ball is way out. Sherman was one that knocked it loose. Nice forced fumble by the cornerback. But fortunate for Cal, they were able to fall on it.
And the rains have started here in Strawberry Canyon. They may be with us for a while, too. Here's a give to Vereen, and Vereen runs right into Owen Marisik. Got about 2. I think that collision, Marisik's going to win more than he loses. And you can see even the band getting on its foul weather gear.
Well, these are great academic universities. They knew it was going to rain. They checked the weather.
I think she was even going to shave. Give to Vereen again, and not much more. And again, Marisik makes a stop with help from his friends. Matthew Masafilo was there as well.
Well, Stanford has moved to this 3-4 defense. Vic Fangio, in his first season, the defensive coordinator, a long-time NFL coordinator. And it's very difficult to run the type of zone that Cal likes to run into a good 3-4 defense because there's so many linebackers. You have to get your offensive line to work to that second level, and those guys move around and they can duck under very well.
Now the Bears will spread it out. They have 4 wideouts in the game here. On third down, and they need 6, and a flag comes in. And Manchin throws it complete off the fingertips of Jones. And now we'll see about the flag. Harold Bernard defending. Going to be against California, and they'll be forced to punt.
Illegal formation, offense. Too many men in the backfield. Penalty is declined, 4th down.
Second time, that same penalty.
Well, this is something that Jeff Tedford feared going into this game with the inexperienced quarterback. Could they complete enough passes, get enough first downs to keep their defense off the field and away from Andrew Luck? And so far, hasn't been the case.
So Brian Anger, number 9 punter in the NCAA right now, averaging 45.5 yards a punt. He'll be kicking to Terrell. And he turns this one over pretty good, drives Terrell back, a fair catch made at the 9-yard line. And we'll jump away. When we come back, we'll see the most famous play in the long history of this big game.
With it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's gone into the end of the Bears. The Bears have won. The Bears have won.
I'll tell you what, Petros, I still... There's John Elway. That was John's last game, if memory serves, at Stanford. I still love that call of Joe Starkey, and it makes me smile every time I hear it.
It's wonderful.
And Taylor gets away with a fumble. Joe Starkey's still the voice of the California Golden Bears. There he is on the right, Joe Starkey. True professional, and one of the great calls, I think, it's sports broadcasting history. I really do.
Kevin Bowen, the guy that took it into the end zone to end the play. Another guy, Andy Park, was on that kickoff return team for Cal. It was so disgusting. Almost didn't get out there onto the field for the play because he thought they were going to lose.
That was really a moment, I'll tell you. So now, Cardinal looking at a 2nd down and 6. Quick toss this time on the screen, and that's Baldwin. He's got plenty of room, out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Sean Cattouse runs him out, but Stanford really getting it done. They have had a 95-yard drive and an 86-yard drive their last 2, and despite the fact there's a little rain, not keeping the folks up on Tightwad Hill from enjoying the view.
Pretty impressive by Stanford's Doug Baldwin, the senior, getting out onto the edge without Chris Owusu, who's not available in this game. Stanford's real burner. They need somebody that can stretch the field and hit the edge, and Baldwin was able to do that in the last play.
Tyler Gaffney now in at the running back spot. The 4th running back that we've seen for Stanford so far today. Gaffney trying to get the outside, can't do it. Nice job defensively by DJ Holt to stand him straight up.
Holt's been a pretty consistent defender, a junior in this 3-4 defense. Between him, Mike Muhammad, and Michael Kendricks, 3 of the 4 linebackers, really big-time players. There's Mike Muhammad, 3-time Pac-10 first-team All-Academic. Stanford's leading tackler. Cal's leading tackler. He's a heck of a player.
Gaffney stays in the game at tailback. 2nd down and 12. Luck, play fake, will throw, steps up, going deep, looking for Baldwin, double coverage, he got it! What a catch! Doug Baldwin gets it between Sean Cattouse and Brian Nabufe for a gain of 47.
We talked about needing a player to stretch the field in the absence of Chris Owusu, and if Doug Baldwin is that guy, it looks like that guy on this play. Judges the ball perfectly, Well thrown ball into the double coverage. Wow.
Now it gives straight ahead to Gaffney on first down as the Cardinals are using a little bit of a hurry up here.
Nice coverage by Cal there. I think they ran that play pretty quickly. Stanford trying to make sure the ball wasn't incomplete or there wouldn't be a challenge or a look on the replay. And everything worked off that power action. That was just a play action fake off the power play that Stanford runs so well. But Cal still had it covered.
Yeah, the Bears did as good a job as they could do. Second and 11 now. Wilkerson back in at tailback. And they bring Marisic in motion. And here's a pitch to Wilkerson. Wilkerson trying to pick his hole and does. Gets to the 20, and he'll be close to a first down, maybe about a yard short. Chris Conte runs him out. He just has that gliding style.
He's a good back. All these backs are good for Stanford, but it's really about the O-line and Owen Marisic and even the tight ends when they have an opportunity to block, when they're not being replaced by giant tackles who just line up in tight end.
Yeah, that's right.
If you love the run game, you gotta love the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, they execute so well, too. I mean, top to bottom. First down, the ball at the 18-yard line. He did get enough for a first down. Give this time to Wilkerson again. He breaks a couple tackles, gets it inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line, and we'll get it down to Rebecca Harlow. Rebecca.
Well, guys, the chemistry on the field, obvious between Luck and Baldwin, but what you're not seeing is that when the defense has been on the field for Stanford, Baldwin and Luck have had their heads together. They've been talking over a lot of different plays down here on the sideline. They're very focused. Andrew Luck saying, this is our bowl game right now. We know it's do or die for anything we want to do for the rest of the season, winning this big game, getting that axe.
Baldwin, 2 catches, 60 yards in the game. That last one, a thing of beauty. Second down now and 6. A power I formation, and it give to Wilkerson again. Not much doing this time. He might have gotten a yard. You know, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, too, with Andrew Luck, is a lot of quarterbacks will come to the line of scrimmage, most quarterbacks, and they have to split the field. Andrew Luck sees the whole field, and that cannot be said about a lot of guys.
He's got a great awareness in what he's looking at, and he doesn't just see it. He's able to deliver the football when he makes a decision, and if he doesn't want to throw it, we've seen his great ability to run the football. John Elway must be watching him from the sideline and thinking, I used to do it like that.
I remember that guy. One of the things that John Elway did not do at Stanford, though, that Andrew Luck is win.
It's true.
Luck steps up, double clutch, throw to the end zone, touchdown. Catch made by Zach Ertz for the score, and again, Luck double pumped and then just drilled it.
Absolutely awesome. He saw the mismatch. Ertz, a big-bodied guy, matched up against a smaller defender, and Luck just delivers it perfectly.
Well, the last 3 drives, 95 yards, 86 yards, and 90 yards. They're going to take another look at this just to make sure that the ball did not hit the ground, but Stanford just clicking on all cylinders right now.
It was Steve Williams, the redshirt freshman, that was behind him and did his best, but Ertz is 6'6", 250 pounds, and looks like he has the ball. His hand is underneath the ball, but he didn't complete the catch, didn't come up with the ball. Williams just trying to get around that big body, but with the ball right between the 8 and the 6, very difficult to make that play for the freshman.
That's a catch, I think. Do not think they'll reverse this.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Jack Wood, the referee, telling you all about it. And you know, the Cardinal, what's even more impressive, we talk about those 3 straight long drives. As you look at John Elway on the sideline, and he's got to be thinking, well, I remember those days. I remember when I was him.
Well, he certainly has the arm strength, and he has the running ability, and he has the football know-how.
He does. What I was going to say, 3 long drives, and against a terrific defense, and particularly one here. Try for point is good. It's a 24-0 ball game, and we're coming back. 24-0 Cardinal. Nothing fluke about it. 3 long drives, back to back to back. That was just Taylor walking into the end zone and did it at the other end as well. And then this one finished it off.
Beautiful throw to Ertz by Andrew Luck. His third option on the play. Delivers the ball. Perfect.
251 yards of offense now for the Cardinal. End-over-end kick, and this is going to be handled by Edmund. He's going to bring it back to about the 21-yard line. That's about it. Take a look now at our DirecTV game summary, and 3 touchdown drives of 95, 86, and 90 yards. Things of beauty. Andrew Luck, 58-yard run, the longest of his career at 132 passing yards. Brock Mansion struggling mightily. And so are the Bears.
Well, they need something positive to happen here with 2 minutes, 41 seconds left. They have moved the ball in some spurts, but hurt themselves with mistakes. Cal's got to eliminate that and try to get some points on the board before the half.
There's a pitch this time to Vereen. Vereen gets it across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. Barry Browning on the tackle for the Cardinal.
Good strong run by Shane Vereen. Saw the hole, knew he wasn't going to make it all the way through, but lowered his head and protected the ball.
9 carries, 35 yards. Quick pass to Keenan Allen, and Allen steps out of bounds at about the 36 with a first down. Bears going with a hurry-up offense here. Mansion gets him right back to the line of scrimmage.
And sometimes a hurry-up offense can get an unconfident quarterback in rhythm.
Don't have to think. Goes out, gets out of bounds. 48-yard line, and that'll be another Bears first down. Thomas on the stop for the Cardinal. The Bears get right back to the line of scrimmage. Fella in the running back spot now. Straight back, over the middle, almost intercepted. Scove stepped in front, had it in his hands. Couldn't hang on. First and 10 line is brought to you by Phillips Television.
Well, fortunate for Brock Mansion that time. Shane Scove had to bat that ball down so it didn't hit him in the face mask.
The ball was thrown pretty hard. It was not an easy chance to intercept, even though he was right there.
Mansion's a hard-throwing guy, but another mistake by the youngster.
Second and 10 at the 49-yard line. Mansion this time, pocket breaks down. Mansion rolls away from it, throws intercepted. Throwing the ball out there, and Thomas stepped in front. Allen was there. That's the one time he probably should have put some mustard on it.
Well, he threw it across his body back to the left when he was going to the right, and really wasn't able to put anything on it. Does not throw the ball well when he's moving, as we've seen throughout the first half. Feels the pressure, the right guy to throw it to, but just didn't put it on a line, floated it up, and it
stayed up.
Yeah, really did. Keenan Allen tries to stop his feet and come back to the ball, but nothing doing there.
So now the Cardinal with 1 minute and 48 seconds, plenty of time. Straight back. Guy steps up and he'll run. Trying to get to the outside, slips a tackle, first down in midfield. Gain of 11.
You think Stanford's going to slow down?
No. And they got the right guy out there, certainly. Luck manages the game as well as any collegiate quarterback. They get right up on it. Out of the gun once again. Out of the backfield, Taylor. And Taylor will get out of bounds after a gain of about 5. Mike Muhammad runs him out. Still plenty of time, 1:22 remaining. To mark that, about 5 yards short of the first down. goes to 3 wideouts this time. Bears show blitz, and then they get to Taylor. Taylor past the outside 40, 35, and inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Another Stanford first down. DeBuffet went along for a ride. Gain of 16 for Stephon Taylor.
One thing that impresses me about all Jim Harbaugh's running backs is that they finish runs.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. This time, Luck goes under center. Short drop, throws underneath, and a drop off to Taylor. Taylor will get it down to the 20-yard line, about a yard short of another first down. Mike Muhammad on the stop. Still plenty of time, 56 seconds.
This is a very well-executed 2-minute drill by Andrew Luck, just like we expected. And again, backs finishing runs, always falling forward.
Give this time is to Taylor. And Taylor missed by the first man, and he's going to be close to a first down now. Bears had him. And the clock will stop now while the officials spot the ball. And they're going to call for the chains. That's good news for Stanford. Stanford just doing everything right. I mean, they are really an efficient offense.
They're playing with a great deal of confidence, and sometimes you don't want to pump your team up too much for a rivalry game because they will come out and play nervous. Certainly we've seen a lot of that from Cal, but Stanford, Jim Harbaugh was more pumped up about this game than anything. He said this is what they've been preparing the entire year for. See, they got the first down, and they've come out and played with a great deal of confidence. No nerves at all.
And you know, the thing is, they're doing it against a defense that has played particularly well at home.
Yeah, Cal has allowed only an average of 9.8 points per game at home. Stanford putting it on them right now.
Nobody scored more than 17 this year. Stanford's got 24. Looking for 31. Going to the end zone is Luck. What a grab by Baldwin. Touchdown, Cardinal.
Talk about the confidence. The Stanford Cardinal, Andrew Luck. Great ball. Better catch. I'll say high into the air. Doug Baldwin goes and snatches that ball out of the air. Watch him go up and get it and secure it. Roll over on top of it, finish the play, get up and hand it to the ref. What a great job by Doug Baldwin, the senior out of Gulf Breeze, Florida.
He's made 2 terrific catches in this game. Man, Whitaker adds the 31st point, and with 22 ticks remaining, it is all Stanford Cardinal. They lead the Cal Bears 31-0. Larry Tompkins, Petros Papadakis, Rebecca Harlow here at Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. 113th renewal of the big game, California and Stanford, and so far, Stanford putting on a clinic.
They've been very good defensively, just letting Cal make mistakes and forcing turnovers. And Stanford on offense under Jim Harbaugh's tutelage, just perfect.
2 touchdowns and a field goal off of California turnovers, helping the Cardinals. Here's Allen at about the 3-yard line. Allen right up the gut this time. Couldn't quite pop it to the outside. Took it to about the 35-yard line. It'll be where Cal starts, but they only have 16 seconds remaining. Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. It's the Ford Fox NFL pregame show. And it's brought to you by the all-new Ford 150, built Ford tough. Followed by Fox NFL Sunday with Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, as they take on the Vikes. Could be Brett Favre's final game against his old team. Or the NFC West leading Seahawks battling Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. So it appears the Bears will just take a knee here and be satisfied to go in. Not satisfied, certainly, but don't want to extend the damage any more than it is. 31-0 at the end of the first half, and Stanford has just played brilliantly on both sides of the ball. 312 yards, and now there's another flag down as we've had more woofing out on the field between these two teams. It started that way, now the half ends that way. 312 yards of offense for the Cardinal, 120 yards of offense for California, including 3 turnovers and 6 penalties. So the Cardinal doing it really well by themselves. but they're getting a lot of help from the hometown Bears.
Yeah, Manchin was only 10 of 28 passing versus Oregon last week, but then got him in position for the winning field goal.
All right, let's go to the sideline right now. Rebecca is with Jim Harbaugh. You got it, Rebecca.
Coach, certainly no shortage of emotion coming from you right now. 312 yards from your offense. Talk about their efficiency.
Well, we're doing all right now. Really impressed with our receivers. Doug Baldwin is making some amazing plays. Andrew Luck's had a good first half. So we'll come back out. We know we got a lot of football, a lot to be played here. But just happy with the way our guys played smart, disciplined football. We'll see if we can do that in the second half as well.
Defensively, 2 huge interceptions that have added more offense for you guys. Talk about the defense.
Well, they're doing a great job so far. We're doing okay right now. We still got a lot of football to go.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Barry.
Well, no question. They do have a lot of football to go, but it's nice to go that far with a 31-0 lead at the intermission. We'll go to the studio when we come back. Memorial Stadium, this the 113th renewal of the big game, Stanford in California. I'm Barry Tompkins. That guy right there is Petros Papadakis. Rebecca Harlow also with us on the sidelines. And P, we started this program by saying we may be watching what we think to be the best college quarterback in America. I'll tell you what, this kid has done nothing to convince us differently.
No, he has lived up to the hype without a doubt. The guy is amazing. Andrew Luck sees the whole field, runs the ball beautifully, leads his team at the line of scrimmage, and has really been flawless in this game. Counterpart on the other side of the field, Brock Manchin, has been the exact opposite. Fumbling the football, throwing picks, trouble at the line of scrimmage, getting his team lined up. Cal has got a lot of work to do just to get some first downs, put some points on the board in this game.
And the second half doesn't start any better for California. That penalty at the end of the first half means they kick off from the 15-yard line. Vecchio hits it pretty good. And coming back with this one was Amanum to about the 35-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines here. Rebecca Harlow. Rebecca.
Well, Petros, you're saying that Cal has a lot of work to do, but Jeff Tedford not afraid of that work. I caught up with him down here at the app, asked him what he said to the guys, and he said the message was, hey, put your heart on the line. Put everything into this second half. He said there are a whole lot of plays to be made. We still have time to get it done. I specifically asked about Brock Manchin, and he said, hey, I told him to run the ball if he has to, not to force it on some of those passes to help eliminate some of those turnovers here in the second half.
All right, thanks very much, Rebecca. We'll see what the Bears can do. Meantime, Andrew Luck has a man open here, and that's his pitch and catch. And the catch made by Zach Ertz, who's been a big part of this ball game, for a gain of 32. Stanford just picking up right where it left off.
Pretty easy out route. Stanford has big tight ends that can really run down the field, and you see Ertz, nothing fancy about the route. Cattouse a little late getting over, and pretty easy throw for Andrew Luck to make. He's made a lot of harder throws in this game. Luck's having a signature Heisman-type performance. That great 58-yard run and the 2 touchdown passes, just flawless.
Absolutely. So just like that, Stanford at the Bears 32. Luck steps up, throws underneath to Whalen. Catch made inside the 25. He was actually looking for Baldwin that time. Baldwin single covered on the outside. I think they were looking to go big, but came to a secondary receiver. Here is what Stanford has done in its first half possessions, and I'd say that's pretty impressive.
And this is not against a porous defense. Cal, one of the better defenses in the Pac-10, especially at home.
Quick toss to Baldwin. And Baldwin gets it inside the 15-yard line, and you can credit Andrew Luck with that, too. He came right back up under center to get the ball out quicker to Baldwin, who was just isolated.
He noticed the corner was playing well off Baldwin, and Cattouse had to come over and finish up that play again. Cal's really on their heels defensively.
shifting all over the place. They bring substitutions on. Now they go with a power formation. Now they shift back to the other side. And they bring Marisic, so they're strong to the left side. And it's a pitch to the left side to Taylor. And Taylor, on a great play defensively that time by the Cal Bears, was stopped before he could get started. Otherwise, that play was going. Mike Muhammad, good play.
Here's Mike Muhammad. Watch him come over and scrape on the play underneath the Stanford blockers to finish it up. Good job.
So it'll be 2nd down, 11. Luck this time out of the gun. Quick toss again. Put that ball right out in front of Whalen. That is Griff Whalen. And Whalen will get it down to about the 6-yard line. Still be about a yard short of the first down. But again, he just puts that ball in the perfect spot.
That's the old Purdue Vinnie Sutherland, Drew Brees bubble screen they used to run. Jim Harbaugh taking a page out of that book to Griff Whalen.
There's a power formation to the right. Luck rolls away. Now he looks to the end zone, throws it away. And that's by design.
Everything Andrew Luck does seems to be by design.
It does.
And so much of what Stanford's doing offensively is just a lot of fun. They move an offensive lineman and a tight end out of the game and back in while they're at the line of scrimmage, and then 3 shifts afterwards.
Here they are again.
Look here, that's an offensive lineman out there.
Yeah, it is. And the Bears look confused. They give it to Marisic straight ahead. The Bears defend it well.
That's a right guard, David DeCastro.
That's right.
Way out beyond the hash.
And a first down for the Cardinals.
In a 2-point stance. You just don't feel comfortable out there. He didn't really do anything. It was more of a decoy type of play, but Jim Harbaugh must have stayed up all night this week drawing up all these different shifts and formations for this game.
That was a 4th down play, too. Where they flop again. This is power to the left side. Taylor, left side, touchdown. McGillicuddy, the big block, but I mean, that's the way you go to the board, you draw it out, but it's as if they followed those X's.
Every one of Stephon Taylor's touchdowns has been like this in this game. Cal's so concerned with clogging up the middle and stopping that power running with Owen Marisic, the fullback, leading through, that the edge is just there glaringly for the backs to take a little bit of an angle and score.
3rd touchdown of the game for Taylor. Whitaker adds the 38th point. And with 12:09 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, it's a 38-point Stanford lead. And Rebecca Harlow's with somebody who I know is just eating all of this up. Rebecca.
That's right, down here with John Elway. It's got to be amazing for you to watch your former team produce the way they are today, especially at the big game.
It really is. It's a lot of fun. They're having a great day, and to see them jump out, it's a little bit of a surprise, but obviously they're a great football team, and it's nice to see them come out here and do it, like you said, in the big game.
Over 9,000 yards of total offense for you in your career at Stanford. Sounds like Andrew Luck might be following in your footsteps. What do you think of him?
I tell you what, he's a great player, and obviously he's playing great today, and the sky's the limit for Andrew. He's just going to get better and better. I'm anxious to watch him the rest of his college career, however long that is, and then watch him in the pros.
Over the last couple of seasons, Stanford really stepping up under Harbaugh. What's impressed you about the growth of this team?
You know, I think Jim's obviously done an awesome job, and I think that, they're playing physical football, being able to run the ball as well as throw the ball, well balanced on offense, and then playing great defense. So you can't give Jim enough credit. He's done a heck of a job here.
Thanks so much, John.
You bet.
Guys.
Keenan Allen takes his kick deep in his end zone, will not return it. Andrew Luck so far, and again, you don't mean to be talking about one guy, and this really has been a real team effort, but 14 of 17, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He's been great, and the one thing he's done that John Elway hasn't done is lead Stanford to a bowl game, the Sun Bowl last year, that he had to miss. Tavita Pritchard started that game because of a finger injury. And John Elway said it best. It's what Jim Harbaugh has built in Stanford. Stanford, difficult place with admissions. They can't get all the athletes in that the other teams in the Pac-10 game, but man, have they done wonders with the guys they have, and a few different guys like Toby Gerhardt and Andrew Luck and Owen Marisic, these transcendent type of players, along with that great offensive line. Guys like Shane Scove on defense, they've really become a force in West Coast football.
Absolutely. Shane Green carried on first down for the Bears for a gain of about 3 yards. The other thing about Stanford, too, is, when Toby Gerhardt left, make himself eligible for the draft, they actually have run for more yards this year than they did last year with Gerhardt.
O-line's still there.
It is. And that's running back by committee. And speaking of running backs, Brock Mansion acting the part of a running back there, but Matthew Masafilo, whose name we've called quite a lot today, stops him after a gain of about 4 yards.
Well, we were talking about it right before the half. Brock Mansion, only 10 of 28 passing against Oregon last week, got him into a position for that field goal, didn't turn the ball over. But today, we've talked about it. He's fumbled the ball 3 times and lost it once, and he's thrown 2 picks. Just not good enough in this game.
Bears looking at a 3rd and 6 here. They come after Mansion, and they got it. Coming off the edge from a safety spot was Taylor Scoffer. First sack of the day, and it means the Bears will have to punt.
Mansion didn't see him, didn't feel him, didn't get the ball out. We talk about how much Andrew Luck sees the whole field. Mansion there only seeing half the field, didn't recognize the safety blitz.
So Anger to punt for the 3rd time. Cardinals should get pretty good field position. And he really drives this one. He sets Terrell all the way back to his 14-yard line. Now Terrell starts back 20, 25 to the 30, to the 40-yard line, to the 44-yard line. He outkicked the coverage. 63-yard punt, but a 25-yard return. And Anger himself had to make the tackle. Cardinal have it. We come back. We welcome you back. Overcast day and still a threat of rain, although we haven't had too much rain. We expected more. Here at the big game, it has been all Stanford, and they start at their own 44-yard line. Give to Taylor. And Taylor will get about 3, and we'll jump off the track. Time for Phillips Television's game break. We check in once more with Darren Horton. Darren.
Well, Barry, it's been a long year for Mac Brown and the Longhorns, but eventually prayers are indeed answered. End of the first half, Garrett Gilbert, 47 yards to Malcolm Williams, who catches the Hail Mary, and the Horns lead Florida Atlantic 24-7.
So, a win for Texas. They will take it.
They'll be back.
Oh, no question.
Trust me.
Taylor straight ahead, pops into the secondary for a moment, gets across midfield. About the 48, Sean Cattouse, a sure tackle for California, about 2 yards short of the first down. Well, Stanford trying to score the most points it ever has, and in fact score more than either team has ever scored in this big game. As we said, there's 112 previous big games to go back and look at. Today, 38 points, 48's the high, 42's the high for the Stanford Cardinal. They got a long way to go. Here's again that power formation to the short side of the field. Now they bring Marisic back to the fullback spot. And this time it's going to be Luck on a keeper. He'll have the first down across the 45. And had Cattouse not made a shoestring tackle, he might have had a lot more.
Pretty nice play call, and Jim Harbaugh has that luxury behind the legs of Andrew Luck on 3rd and short situations to lead Owen Marisic through, have a play fake, and run the quarterback. And it's worked in a lot of different ways this year for the Cardinal. Within zone reads, that was just a called fake and a bootleg.
This time they slot McGillicuddy, now bring him in motion. And they give us to Wilkerson. Wilkerson cuts it back. It's down about the 40 to the 39-yard line. A gain of 6.
The The organizations that Stanford puts together as far as their personnel groups go is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
tight ends, wide receivers, different running backs, different fullbacks on every play, and they don't jump off sides very much. No illegal procedure. Like a well-oiled machine on offense.
They really are. Now they have two tight ends. One is slotted. And two wideouts. And Luck throws over the middle. That's Baldwin. Baldwin trying to reverse field. We'll have a first down at the 30-yard line. Josh Hill makes sure that Baldwin didn't go any further. Baldwin's having a career here. 5 catches, 97 yards.
There you see the Stanford coaching booth, and that's a lot of organization they have to put together. They bring in almost a whole new set of skill position players, backs, receivers, and tight ends, and sometimes O-linemen on every play on offense, and they don't miss a beat.
Yeah, and I think your point's well taken. I mean, they rarely are penalized for any kind of procedure. Give this time to Wilkerson, trying to get outside, and did step out of the tackle of Kendrick, but Kendrick held on him long enough for Chris Conti to come over and make the stop. And a flag is down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 17 defense. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, they got Chris Conti, the senior safety, on the face mask. Wilkerson fighting for extra yards. Conti comes up, delivers the blow, and just got his hand under the top of the helmet there. And that's going to draw a flag.
Last thing in the world, the Bears need 8 penalties, 75 yards. Stanford, the least penalized team, not only in the Pac-10 Conference, but in the country.
Stanford has a penalty, but it wasn't in the game. It was before the game, with Jamal Rashad Patterson being thrown out after throwing a punt.
Yeah, so they have played flawlessly today. Now they flop people around again. There's a give to Wilkerson. Wilkerson gets it down to the 10-yard line, a gain of 5. And the Cardinals now starting to pick it up in chunks.
A really nice pull by the guard, David DeCastro. Wilkerson getting right in behind him. And that really is the bread and butter. That's not the prettiest play we've seen all day, especially with Andrew Luck out there. But that's what Stanford does best. They run power, and everything they do is off that power. And the way they run these personnel groups in and out is almost with an NFL team-like precision, except they have more personnel than an NFL team would at receiver and running back and tight end.
I hear they flop the right side of the line to the left side, and the left side to the right side. And they give it to Wilkerson again, and cuts back, and he'll get about 2.
All that window dressing, and it's just a power play. It's just power football. That's all they're doing. And they do a lot of window dressing, a lot of guys coming in and out, a lot of guys moving from the slot, then down to the line of scrimmage. But it's all done.
Now Lucas comes into the game, so he's the backup quarterback. He will run out of the Wildcat.
It's all done out of the formation of power. It's all done out of the guard pulling, the fullback leading through, and the tailback behind him. That's all it is.
And here's the Wildcat with Lucas. And Lucas could throw it, of course. He's a quarterback. Lucas going to run it. Right up the gut. Gets to the 2-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Sean Cattouse makes the stop, but Cardinal going to have 4 more snaps here.
Now this is just a power with the quarterback, Lucas, and Owen Marisic kind of walling off. Lucas has played quarterback, safety, and wide receiver at Stanford, and if Andrew Luck leaves for the NFL, as many speculate that he will, John Elway alluded to his decision at the end of the season. If he does that, Lucas will be in line to start a quarterback in 2011, and he's banged up here.
And we got an injured Stanford player. It might be Lucas. I'm not sure. We'll check on it when we come back. 38-0 Cardinal. They drive again at the 3-yard line. The Impact Player of the Week is awarded to a defensive player that best exemplifies integrity, maturity, performance, academics, community, and tenacity. This week's winner, for the second time this year, Texas's Sam Acho. Texas will once again receive $1,000 for its General Scholarship Fund in recognition of Acho's achievement. It was Alex Lucas who came off injured. We'll check on that. Cardinal at the 3-yard line. Luck rolls, throws, and that's the first ball he's underthrown. Let's take a look at what happened to Alex Lucas here, Pete.
Alex Lucas fighting for extra yards, and you see the left ankle get rolled up on by Coleman. That's what they're looking at the trainer's table right now. He had to be helped off the field, able to put a little weight on it.
So it'll be second down and goal. Stanford doing a pretty good job in the red zone today. They're 6 of 6, 5 touchdowns, and a field goal. This time out of the power I. And they give it to Wilkerson, and Wilkerson is in. Touchdown Cardinal. Showing some strength on that play. So already the most points that a Stanford team has ever scored in the history of this game, which goes back to 1892.
Right over the top of DJ Holt. Nice block again by David DeCastro. Such great pulling guards this Stanford offensive line features. And the strong freshman back, Anthony Wilkerson, who they like a lot. They think is probably their most complete back in the future. Powers it in.
Whitaker tries to add the 45th point and does. 4:53 remaining here in the third quarter, and we're coming back. Well, there's the story of this game. It has been a dominant performance by the Stanford Cardinal. They lead it now 45-0. They've added 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter. Andrew Luck has been the guy that's driven the bus, but it's a pretty darn good bus.
It's the bus of the century. I mean, they have looked just precise.
High end over end kick. Allen gets to the 10 with the 20-yard line, and that is just about it. Let's take it down to Rebecca Harlow, and she's with what this game is really all about. Rebecca.
That's right. I'm down here with the UC Rally Committee. These guys are the gatekeepers to one of the most prized trophies in all of college football. Here it is, guys, the Axe. It has been going back and forth between these two schools since 1899, a very long time. Catching up with the Cal football players, they tell me that their favorite moment of the big game last year was when they got to take pictures with the Axe. These guys are saying, hey, it's not over till it's over. Stanford, on the other hand, they're saying they want the Axe back. Harbaugh saying, hey, it's the big game. We admit it. We want that Axe.
Direct snap to Vereen, and Vereen's going to pick up about 15. You know, the Axe, I mean, there is, first of all, you can't find it anytime during the course of the year. They protect it so much now, and one of the reasons for it is that it actually went missing. It was stolen by one of the teams and went missing for about 4 or 5 years. I believe that was back in the 20s.
But you can't steal the Axe unless you earn it with a victory.
Well, that's very true.
It's wrong to steal it.
Coveted trophy.
Well, they feel it. The Stanford end zone, they feel like they got a good shot at the Axe this year.
The last play was the biggest play of the game for the Bears. This one a gain of 4 for Marvin Jones. First and 10 line is brought to you by Phillips Televisions.
You saw Marvin Jones on the reverse. They're without Jeremy Ross, their other wide receivers in this game. The senior, Keenan Allen and Michael Calvin will also run reverses. Cal really wants to stretch the field in this game, but they just have not been able to stretch it either way, east to west or north and south, against this Stanford defense, who's done a pretty good job.
There's a pitch to Vereen. Vereen, blockers in front of him, but a nice play from the backside that time by Chase Thomas, living up to his name.
Chased it down. He's a good linebacker. Owen Marisik gets a lot of attention because he plays both ways. Marisik is a much better fullback than he is a linebacker, and he's a serviceable linebacker. Chase Thomas is a guy that makes a lot of plays. They like a lot at Stanford in the future. And Shane Scove, also just a sophomore, is a star. Thomas Kaiser, pretty good outside linebacker too. They got a good group.
Third down now. They need about 2, and Vereen is going to get it, I believe. Brian Bulkey, Michael Thomas there to make the stop, and he did get enough for the first down.
Oski the Bear in his cardigan. He looks happy.
He's had that sweater for a long time, I'll tell you.
He's not disheartened.
No, he knows it's going to come back into fashion. Vereen this time is surrounded. Talk about having no chance. Brian Bulkey was there, and he had plenty of friends with him.
Resick also delivering part of the blow. There's Marisic, the blonde hair coming out the back, wearing 48. Nice reaction. That he's a better fullback, but he's not a bad linebacker.
No, he's not. Getting more comfortable at that position, too.
Stanford's defense obviously is taking sort of a back seat to what Andrew Luck has done, but they're pitching a shutout.
Mansion straight back this time, throws. Catch made by Vereen at midfield. Into Stanford territory at about the 49. Now it'll be third down. The Cardinals going to need about 6.
Well, this is what Cal was able to do a little bit in the first half, Barry, which is chip their way down the field and move the ball. They just weren't able to do it without making mistakes, whether it be interceptions, fumbles, or penalties that stalled drives, and that's what really took them out of the game in the first half. And they are moving the ball again. Let's see if they can continue to do so here on this third down.
Of course, it's the Bears who need 6, not the Cardinal. Probably less than 6. Mansion steps up, has to throw in a hurry, drills it. A nice catch by Calvin for a first down inside the 40-yard line. Mark it right at the 40.
And when Brock Mansion throws from the pocket, he looks pretty good. Nice motion, got a really big arm, can throw the ball down the field. It's when he starts to move and gets pressured that things start to break down, especially in his mechanics and his footwork.
Ball right at the 40. Mansion, play fake, straight back, hit as he throws, and it is almost intercepted, and then almost caught, and neither man came up with it. Thomas was right in the grill of Brock Mansion. Hit him right as he threw it, right in the chops.
Mansion took a real shot. And it's, again, an errant pass. Saw Jones having to stop his feet to try to get on it. There's the shot in the ribs and then the back driven into the turf. Mansion's been tough, though. He's hung in there.
He has, and that was a clean shot. Good clean shot. Mansion, 10 of 19, 72 yards. And in trouble. Now he rolls. And he'll pick up a few. Get inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. They'll give him about 3 yards on the play, maybe 2.
Thomas Kaiser really putting pressure, but Mansion did a good job getting away from it. And like Coach Tedford told Rebecca at halftime, didn't stop to throw it. Get what you can with your legs and get out of bounds.
So now a third down and 7 for the Cal Bears. Cardinals shows blitz. And they jumped offside, I believe, unless they were dropped. Vereen will have the first down inside the 30-yard line. Now we'll see about the flags. There was a Stanford player in the neutral zone. We'll see if he was drawn across.
Offsides, defense, number 94. Penalty is declined. Play results in a first down.
So the Bears moving the football here. They have it at the 26-yard line. This would be a real confidence builder, to be sure, for Brock Mansion. And now we've reached the end of the third quarter. Fast-moving third quarter in which Stanford put up 2 more touchdowns. We go to the final period with the Stanford Cardinal ahead of the Cal Bears 45-0 in the 113th renewal of the big game. This one has been all Stanford so far. 15 minutes of football left. We're coming back. $45-0, the Cardinal lead it. Baseball has its perfect games. I'm not sure football does, but if there were such a thing, Stanford might be pitching one.
Pretty close. They've had one penalty. That was before the game. 417 yards, 7 possessions on 7 scores on those possessions, 0 turnovers, and no points allowed. That's perfect.
I'll say. Meantime, the Bears going on a wildcat here, and now we've got flags before the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, once again, the Bears just not able to handle success here.
Matt Summers, Gavin, getting out of his stance a little early. E.C. Cefelian, he's really the wildcat guy. He's got a rugby background, but Cal has just been unable to get anything going offensively. Can't stay on the field. Can't really work your game plan.
Looking now to 1st and 15. Manchin back in a quarterback. Look out. And a quick pass to Allen. Allen at the 25-20. And knocked out of bounds short of the first down by Owen Marisa. Pick up a 14. They were coming at Manchin that time. Shane Scove was coming hard.
Scove really bearing down on Manchin, but he did a good job delivering that ball, getting rid of it, getting it to Keenan Allen, who you're going to hear a lot from in the future in the Pac-10 catching football.
And now they have Keenan Allen in the wildcat. Here he is, running to his right. Now he's going to throw it. And now he's not going to throw it. Now he's going to run it. And now he throws it. And it is caught for a touchdown by Marvin Jones. Just another bizarre moment in the big game.
Cal finally gets on the board, something for the hometown fans to cheer about. Talk about Keenan Allen and how exciting he is. Just a true freshman. See his ability to elude tacklers and stays calm and very impressed. And none of the Cal offensive linemen went downfield and he delivered the ball to Marvin Jones, who caught it twice.
Yes, he did. That play had a little of everything. Tavecchio's try for point is good, and the Bears are on the board. Just underway, fourth quarter, Stanford 45, California 7. Well, if you think big game week involves only the big game, it involves a lot of other stuff too. It involves the big spike volleyball, women's volleyball, won by the Cal Bears. Number 4 Cal beating number 2 Stanford 3-1. Then you have the big splash. Took place in the rain at the pool outdoors, water polo. And California also won the big splash. But the big game so far belongs to Stanford. There's also the big sing. And that is parodies. Which team can embarrass the other more? Big dance. Ballroom dancing teams. Really? Why not? It's not just football. Water polo and all that stuff. Short kick to the 12-yard line. Handled by a Manning. And he'll get it back to about the 28-yard line. Take a look at some of the other big matchups. Of course, you got the big game. We told you about the big spike and the big splash. Big freeze takes place in hockey.
Oh, big freeze.
And then you got the big meet, track and field. The big sweep, and that is touch football. School papers. School papers play the ink bowl, and instead of the axe, they play for the X-Acto knife. And that's not the X-Acto knife. That is the axe. Held by the rally committee. Held all year by the rally committee. And that gets pretty heavy.
Yeah, they hide it, like you said.
So the Cardinals will see if they have an answer. They have all day long. Give it to Taylor, and Taylor will get it to about the 34. We'll take a Phillips Television's game break. Let's check in with Darren Horton.
Barry and Miami, they have a dandy going between the 24th-ranked Canes and number 16 Virginia Tech. Miami in those bright orange unis. That's Lamar Miller's touchdown. It tied the game at 17. Virginia Tech, they can clinch the ACC Coastal if they win this one. Barry.
All right, thanks very much, Darren. Here, a 2nd down and 5 for the Cardinal. Here they are again, moving personnel one side to the other. Strong left right now. And the give again to Taylor, and Taylor is going to take people with him for another Stanford 1st down.
Jim Harbaugh really showing off with all this window dressing on offense just to run power. Pretty fun to see DJ Holt taking a ride that time with Taylor. After Stanford's 1-win season in 2006, Barry, it's amazing what Jim Harbaugh has done in 4 seasons. And he's going to continue to draw a great deal of interest from other colleges and the NFL as well.
No question. A lot of decisions to be made at Stanford after this season, but still a long way to go in this season. Cardinals still with high hopes of getting to the Rose Bowl game. They're going to need some help. Here's a reverse for Gatewood, and Gatewood is slammed to the turf after a gain of about 5. Chris Conti. Andrew Luck today in the big game, he was exactly as advertised.
He's going to have one of those decisions that you were just talking about. The run was really the most impressive thing that I saw. 58 yards, running over Cattouse, but the throwing of the ball, working his progression, seeing the whole field. Baldwin making a great catch for him that time. His tight ends have been involved. His running backs have been involved, and he's been flawless.
You know, they have played 6 tight ends in this game, Pooh. And their starter was injured and out for the year in the first game of the season. Here's a give to Wilkerson, and Wilkerson is going to get the 1st down in the Stanford territory at the 47-yard line. They're just knocking the Bears back off the ball now.
And not one wide receiver, not one, in on that play. And look at this. There's nothing. Nobody. Nobody here. Nobody here. No wide receivers. Harbaugh told him to take a break.
444 yards of offense for the Cardinal in this game. 209 rushing the ball. Now the sun peeks through once again. Sun is shone on the Cardinal all day long. Give again to Wilkerson. Wilkerson pops into the secondary inside the 40 to the 38. I think we're looking at a tired Cal defense right now.
Oh, without a doubt. And there were no wide receivers in on that play either. Conrad Rulin, who was lined up as a wide receiver, is a 260-pound tight end. And Cal's defense is just getting leaned on. You see all the hands on the hips and the heavy breathing. Stanford just taking it out of them right now. You look at the rushing yards, what Stanford's been able to do, along with the throwing of Andrew Luck. It's been a clinic. I don't know what else to say.
Definitely has been that.
Now they got one wide receiver.
Yeah, they do. They got Drew Terrell, the only wide receiver. Give it to Wilkerson again. Wilkerson straight ahead inside the 35. About the 34-yard line. He got about 3 on 1st down. DeAndre Coleman tackle for the Bears.
Now this is complicated, but Stanford began today ranked 6th in the BCS standings, and the Cardinals still play host to Oregon State next Saturday. If they finish 11-1, they're not guaranteed a BCS bowl bid because if Oregon qualifies for the title game against Auburn, then the Rose Bowl's committed to taking the highest-ranked non-AQ team, which would be TCU or Boise State. So Stanford could get to Pasadena if Oregon either plays Boise or TCU for the BCS title, or Stanford could get a BCS at-large berth and play in one of the other BCS games. But if they finish 11-1, you'd have to say, Barry, they definitely deserve a BCS bowl.
Without question. But they do, you're right, they need some help. Now, all of that said, of course, Auburn has a couple of tough games facing it.
And Oregon's got Arizona at home.
And I think Boise State has an opportunity to move up a little bit. They had a very impressive win against a team that's going to go to a bowl game, Fresno State. They beat them 51-0.
But if Oregon and Auburn win out, Stanford will not most likely get into the Rose Bowl.
That's right.
After going 11-1.
Which they've never done. They've only won 10 games 3 different times in the long history of Stanford football. So 4th down and a yard, and Cardinal will go. Jim Harbaugh comes all the way out of the field to get his players around him. Take a look at the BCS rankings, and here they are right here. Oregon, they're undefeated. Of course, Auburn is undefeated, but 2 tough games. And in fact, Oregon has what could be a couple of tough games as well. 4th down, the Cardinal need a yard. Wilkerson again, he got the yard. Not a lot more than a yard, but I think he got enough for the 1st down. So Oregon plays Arizona. Now they do get them at home, but then they have to play at Oregon State. That's a rivalry game.
That's tough. And look at all these one-loss teams just lingering here. LSU is losing to Mississippi. Ohio State is losing to Iowa right now, but a lot of one-loss teams, Stanford included, just kind of hovering there.
Wilkerson again. I'm making Taylor. And Taylor inside the 25. It's about the 24-yard line. A gain of 3. Cardinal not putting the ball up here. They're just eating up clock. Running power. Now Tyler Gaffney comes in the game. That's the other thing. I mean, they do have 5 available running backs. We've seen 4 of them today. And they always have fresh legs.
They do, and they all have the same mentality. They all know to get underneath the guard in the power play and churn their legs for extra yards. They all seem to put it in the right play.
This time they bring Fleener in motion. And they give it to Gaffney. Gaffney tried to bounce it outside and might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Didn't get much more than that. Mike Muhammad, a nice play on the defensive side for California.
Gaffney, along with Taylor, probably the best lateral movement of the Stanford backs.
Yeah, Gaffney, another one of those two-sport athletes. So we saw John Elway on the sideline, of course, a great two-sport athlete at Stanford. They've had a lot of them.
And they don't discourage that. A lot of colleges, big-time football programs, they don't want a guy playing 2 sports because they want them there for spring football, not running track or playing baseball. But Stanford and Jim Harbaugh, they don't mind it.
No, not at all. There's a history of it at Stanford. Gaffney again. Gaffney's going to be stopped, and it's going to be 4th down. This play, though, has already consumed more than 6 minutes. This drive, I should say. Yeah, here are some of the guys that we talked about. I mean, Ernie Nevers, one of the great football players of all time, also was a baseball player at Stanford. John Elway, of course. Joe Borchard, a quarterback, still playing baseball. Chad Hutchinson was a baseball player first, then became a football player. John Lynch, once a quarterback at Stanford, wound up as a safety, played many years in the NFL, played baseball. Mark Marquis, who's the Stanford baseball coach for many years, was a quarterback on the football team.
Toby Gerhardt could have been drafted to play Major League Baseball if he chose that path.
41-yard field goal attempt by Whitaker, and he keeps a perfect day for Stanford. Perfect. 48-7 now. 7:04 remaining to be played in the game. We're coming back. It is a lopsided big game. 48-7. Stanford leads it. Pete, let's open the old Toyota playbook.
Well, there it is. Here comes David DeCastro on the power. You're going to see it. All you have to do is get underneath that guard as he leads through. That was Taylor, and it just kept on going. See the pulling guard again, and Taylor takes it to the edge. Again, the edge is there for Taylor. They just keep it going, the same thing. Wilkerson, and you know who likes it? Elway, even though it's not a 50-yard pass, he still likes that power run.
I guess he does.
Why not?
Kickoff this time, headed for Allen, and this is going to be deep in the end zone and not returned. Jim Harbaugh's team doing everything right today. Incidentally, Jim wanted to be sure and mention his grandfather, 96 years old, Joe Sapiti. He's watching the game in Cleveland, Ohio. He's up and moving around great after a little surgery, and Joe's going to live probably for another 50 years. And this game's going to go a long way toward that. Going to make that man very happy, and Jim wanted us to be sure and reach out, give a big hey to his grandfather.
Jim, a great family guy, and really kind of cultivates that attitude within his team. They Play like a family, they play for each other.
There's Mansion, steps away from trouble, and a good job by Allen to come back to the ball. Pickup of 7. First and 10 line brought to you by Phillips Televisions.
Well, that was the best Brock Mansion has looked, moving and then setting his feet and delivering the football. Needed a little more of that in the first half.
Mansion up over the 100-yard mark now in passing. That may not seem like a lot, but coming off of last week, it's an improvement. Vereen on the short side, getting some tough yards. He'll have the first down. Across the 30 to about the 32. Blake Luters on the stop for the Cardinals.
Pretty sure that's the Stanford man.
Yeah.
You know, it's little runs like that that really set Shane Vereen apart. He bubbles, recognizes where the push is coming from the defense, gets to the edge, has a nice stop move, and then finishes physically. Nice run by good back.
Stepping up, throwing, and almost intercepted. Michael Thomas got a hand on it. Flag is down in the backfield.
Roughing the passer, blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Jarrett Sparks is still down.
Looks like he took a helmet to the thigh, and there's the penalty. Chase Thomas coming down around the helmet of Mansion, and that draws the flag.
First penalty that Stanford's had since before the game started. They had one that was refused, but first one that will go in the scorecard anyway. Sparks is going to be helped from the field.
Jarrett Sparks, the sophomore, lines up at tight end, but lined up at receiver a whole bunch in this game, and just takes a shoulder pad, it looks,
yeah, it did,
to the thigh by Taylor Scoffel, another violent player out there that Jim Harbaugh has playing at a pretty high level on that defense.
Yeah, I think, you know, with how impressive Stanford's offense is, it's kind of easy to overlook their defense, but you know, in the past several games, they're playing great.
You know, Barry, going into the season, I thought Stanford would be in a lot more shootout type of games. I knew the offense would be fabulous with Andrew Luck, a year older, throwing the football. I did not know that Vic Fangio would be able to come in as the defensive coordinator and really turn them into a force on defense.
Done a great job. Here is Safele. Safele tried to stiff arm Sherman, who did a good job staying with him. Still a gain of about 5.
Look at E.C. Safele and wonder if he's the next great Cal running back. Shane Vereen picking up where Javid Best left off. Names like J.J. Arrington, Marshawn Lynch, Adam Chinobi, Echamandu, Joe Igber. Need another guy.
Mansion in big trouble, and he throws it nowhere. I guess they're going to say he was outside the box, and so he could throw it away. Injured Cardinal, it was Ben Gardner who was coming on the rush, but he appears to be okay.
And Vereen's a guy that is a junior. He'll have a decision to make at the end of the season.
You know, you were talking about Andrew Luck having to make the decision, and it is a tough decision, and there are some pundits who say he will be the #1 pick in the NFL draft should he come out. But I know one thing. I do know the Luck family has had conversations with the Manning family, and remember Peyton Manning decided, even though he was going to be the #1 pick as a junior, came back for his senior year and has never regretted that.
No, his career's worked out okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Now Luck would just be coming back for his junior year, but he's eligible for the draft at the end of this season because he redshirted.
It will be a decision. He graduates next year. He's an architecture student.
Can you imagine if he stayed 2 more years at Stanford? How good he'd be in the Pac-10 and 2012.
It'd be pretty darn good if he stays next year.
Exactly.
Of course, the Bears will go for it here. Manchin throws, and he threw it behind the intended receiver, Michael Calvin, who might have had a chance. Let's go to the sideline right now. Rebecca Harlow with a little bit more on Stanford's two-way player, Owen Marisic.
That's right, guys. Owen Marisic, he's easy to spot on the field, and Barry, like you're saying, it might be because he's always there playing on both sides of the ball, or it might be because he's got long, blonde Goldilocks. There you see him. They're coming out of his helmet. Well, that is Owen's way of honoring his late grandmother, Kathleen Lewis, who died of leukemia a couple years ago. He says as soon as that ponytail gets to 10 inches, he's going to cut it off, donate it to an organization that makes wigs for cancer patients. He says the longer it gets, the more he thinks about her. He's really an amazing kid, guys.
Yeah, he really is an amazing guy. Andrew Luck's day is over, and Josh Nunez takes over at quarterback. Andrew will finish 16 of 20, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, just another kind of routine ho-hum day. And, of course, he ran for 72 yards as well.
He was great, and again, they play within the system. They don't try to get him 45 passes just so they can pad his stats. They do a great job playing within the system with him. He's a team player. Stanford's offense plays as a team, and pretty refreshing to see in today's day and age in college football.
Absolutely. So Nunez takes over. He's a redshirt freshman from Upland, California. Give to Wilkerson, and Wilkerson's not going to get much here. I think, without question, when you look back on this game, there's one play that's going to stand out.
Well, it's sort of a signature Heisman type of play. Andrew Luck feels the pressure, takes off. You saw the speed. Now you see the power knocking over Cattouse. And then I swear he looks at Cattouse and says something. And then he takes off again down the sideline for another 12, 15 yards. Just a great play, and that really ignited the Cardinals on what became a pretty lopsided looking game.
Now here the Cardinals spread it out on 3rd down and 11. And now we're going to get a timeout called by Stanford.
Their second.
You know, just to give you an idea of how dominant Stanford has been in this game, the California defense came in here number 6 in sacks, none today. They came in number 10 in the nation in total defense, gave up 465 yards today. They came in number 15 in pass defense and gave up 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looking back on some of the great moments in Pac-10, or rather in the big game, Joe Igber's 9-yard run with a minute to go put the game into overtime, but Casey Moore caught the game-winning touchdown from Randy Pisani. Stanford won 36-30. That was the last time that the Stanford Cardinal beat California in Berkeley.
That's been 10 years in the making for the Stanford Cardinal. It's a big deal to Jim Harbaugh. Huge deal to Jim Harbaugh, this rivalry game. And a lot of coaches in the Pac-10, notably Pete Carroll. USC has giant rivalries against Notre Dame and UCLA. And Pete Carroll would always downplay them in his time at USC, said he did nothing different during the week. Well, Jim Harbaugh is the exact opposite of that. You work all year just for this one game. This is it. This is the rivalry game, which I guess is a bit of a risk, but it depends on how you coach.
Well, right now the Cardinal with a 3rd and 11, and maybe they'll let Nunez throw here. They do, and he throws behind the intended receiver, who is Drew Terrell. So the Cardinal, for the first time today, is going to have to punt. In fact, they've only punted 24 times all year. I think that's a pretty amazing statistic, too.
That leg is cold.
So that's going to bring about the punter, Daniel Ziklinski. He's got a fresh leg. Gets this one high. Twisting kick. Fair catch. Called for and made by Allen. It was David Green. Well, we saw the play, the 7 lateral play that won this game just a couple of weeks ago in a high school game in Kentucky. Butler against Pleasure Ridge Park.
Well, I don't know if this stacks up to that, but it's pretty exciting. You see the other team comes out onto the field, and The other team starts to inch out onto the field. Coaches are starting to run out of the field.
The guy scored, suffice to say. I give this time to Cifelli. And Cifelli doing some pretty nifty running. Gets a first down across the 30-yard line. Gain of 13. Incidentally, we talked about Zeklinski having only 24 punts. That is not the fewest punts in the nation. That goes to the kicker from Boise State, who was punted only 23 times.
Wow. You have a balanced offense, you can do that sort of thing.
Manchin overthrows his attendant receiver, John Tyndall. Here's our DirecTV game summary, and well, the story is the Stanford Cardinal.
Andrew Luck, the offensive line, the efficiency, the lack of mistakes, made for a great big game for the Cardinal.
It's been a great year for the Cardinal. Manchin straight back over the middle, too tall. And Manchin took a real shot from Gardner. So were the game to end right now, it would tie for the biggest margin in this series. Stanford 41-0 back in 1930. Cal won by 35 a couple of different times. For Jeff Tedford, a long, long afternoon, and he knew his team had to go out there and execute perfectly, especially offensively, if they were to have a chance in this game. He didn't have all the horses today. Manchin to Calvin. Calvin still on his feet. Now he's going to get a first down. Gain of 16. Blake Luters makes the stop. Bears come to the line of scrimmage again.
And we talk about Stanford and what Jim Harbaugh has done and how this is such an unprecedented year in their history. First time since 2001, Stanford has beaten USC, Cal, and Notre Dame in the same year, and that's bigger than huge.
Manchin steps up, throws, and that time he put it right on the money to Marvin Jones. That might have been the best ball he's thrown all day.
Had a couple moments, just hasn't played with the confidence that Cal needed him to play with to really carry the offense in this game.
Exchange of the axe will take place soon, and there's plenty of security around this exchange, I'll tell you.
Wow.
Marvin Jones couldn't quite catch up to it. So Manchin makes one great play and then misses an open Jones.
Really been the story of the last couple weeks for Cal. Brock Manchin unable to take that extra step for this offense.
So 2nd and 10, the ball's at the 31-yard line. Manchin straight back, steps up, throws behind Cifelli. And here is the face-off with the axe, if you will. California has it, and they'll only have it for another minute and 53 seconds.
There's a couple smiles down there, but not too many.
I don't think we're going Dukes with these folks.
Certainly hope not.
Well, it's a tremendous rivalry, a tremendous tradition. It's really one of the great rivalries in college sports.
I agree.
Manchin throws over the middle of Cifelli, threw it behind him. Cifelli did a great job just to make the catch and keep his feet under him, but now it's going to be 4th down and 4.
Nice tackle by Max Bergen, the junior. Really holding on to Cifelli, who's a strong guy for a smaller guy. He's about 5'7". He's probably shorter than that. But Bergen had a good hold of him, wouldn't let go. They're still staring each other down now.
Yeah, they are. Fourth down here. Last hurrah for Cal and for Brock Mansion. A little screen for Allen, and Allen's going to get a first down. Again, the ball wasn't exactly on the money, but a good job by Keenan Allen. Allen gives you little glimpses of what he's going to be. And here again, they get closer and closer.
How close are they going to get?
Well, that axe is almost close enough to shave that guy. Allen, 7 catches, 54 yards, and he threw a pass for a touchdown. So we knew he was going to be a factor in this game. Wasn't nearly the factor he or the coaching staff or the Cal Bears or any of their rooters would have wanted.
He's got a bright future.
He does. Manson that time missed everybody.
Oh, he had Michael Calvin and Spencer Ladner.
He had them both, yeah.
Threw it between them.
Long day for that young man. Quarterback job in California is going to be wide open next year. Bo Sweeney still on the team, just a sophomore. Manchin's a junior. A couple of talented freshmen coming in.
And it doesn't seem like a game manager in the Pac-10 conference will get it done. You have to have good to excellent quarterback play to run the offenses in this conference week in and week out. If you don't, you're not going to compete week in and week out.
No, you're right. I heard you talk about that, and I think your point is absolutely well taken. Here's a throw underneath. Again, having to reach back for it was Will Cap. If that's a familiar name to you, it should be. He's the son of Joe Cap, who took the Bears to their last Rose Bowl game.
He was the manager on the basketball team when they went to the Final Four,
Yes,
too.
he was. He actually played 1 year, but he didn't play on the Final Four team.
He still was the manager.
Yes, he was.
You take him to the Rose Bowl and you manage the basketball team.
So the Bears now with the 3rd down. And Manchin this time waits and waits, and now he throws, and it was almost intercepted. It was right in the hands of Quinn Evans.
After today, Cal will be 5-6, and they'll need a victory over Washington next week in the last game of Memorial Stadium before renovation to be bowl eligible. And UW will also need a win to keep their bowl hopes alive.
That's right. Next year, the Bears, while they renovate Memorial Stadium here, will play at AT&T Park, home of the world champion San Francisco Giants.
That'll be interesting, and I think they've reconfigured it. It won't be like the Emerald Bowl with both teams on the same sideline. They'll be on either sideline.
And Manchin's going to call a timeout here. It's 4th down. There's 24 seconds left. Bears is trying to get one more on the board. And here's a good look at Memorial Stadium. It will not be in use next year while it is getting renovated, getting retrofitted earthquake-wise, but also some brand new football facilities, a great weight room. And in the Pac-10 Conference now, and in fact in college football, that's something you've got to have.
Well, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the new USC football facility that's going up. Jeff Tedford, a huge victory for him, getting the facility built here in Cal. Long time coming. They've been looking for it for a long time. There's not a better setting for a stadium in all of college football, in my opinion. Strawberry Canyon, just a beautiful place for a game and great stadium, but it is old, and they're going to do some things to it and make it even more of an enjoyable experience, and a nice football facility, football offices for the Cal football program. Really nice thing going on. Very exciting for everybody at UC Berkeley.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, both these programs, I mean, they were once, the big game was the big game only in name for many years. Both Stanford and California kind of bringing up the rear in the Pac-10 Conference for many years. And with Jim Harbaugh and Jeff Tedford, both teams have really turned it around. Jeff Tedford has won more games already at in this length of time at Cal than anybody else has. Here's what the Pac-10 Conference looks like right now. Oregon, of course, undefeated in the conference, undefeated overall. Stanford right there. They did lose to Oregon. Remember, they led them 21-3, but Oregon a huge second half. USC's playing great football right now, arguably right up there with Stanford and Oregon in terms of how well they're playing. Arizona, even though they've had a couple of tough games recently, still could be tough on the Oregon Ducks. And Oregon State, a very disappointing loss, of course, at home to Washington State last week. Stanford will have to play them next week, but they do get them in Palo Alto. And then Cal at 5-5. Washington 4-6. They've had a tough year also.
And those USC sanctions, Trojans not bowl eligible this year. We'll see what happens with their appeal. That hurts the entire conference because USC maybe going to end up with 10 wins this season. They're not going to be able to go to a bowl game. That's a slot that could be filled for the Pac-10.
Yeah, Pac-10 has 6 bowl opportunities, but there won't be 6 teams who are going to be eligible to make it to a bowl.
24 seconds to go in the game, and Jim Harbaugh challenging calls.
Oh, that's Jim. I mean, he's the ultimate competitor.
Without a doubt.
Last chance here for the Bears. Quick screen and a reverse and a flea flicker. And it's going to be Sefele who is going to get it. Did he get in? Yes, touchdown Bears. Kind of a version of the old hook and ladder.
That's exactly what it was. And those two guys are the future of Cal football in the skill position. Keenan Allen and E.C. Sefele. Sefele really getting low and stretching out. Do the knees touch? Nope, not before the ball was over. Really nice body control by the young tailback.
So the Bears save a little face here as they tack a second touchdown on, and now Tavecchio will try to make it a 48-14 game. He drives it through, and the lead now 34. Only 15 seconds left, so whether the Bears try an onside kick or not, I don't know. I don't know why.
And if Stanford gets the ball, is Harbaugh going to take a knee?
I don't know. You never know with him.
Exactly.
But I think so. Exchange of the axe just moments away now. Jim Harbaugh is still working the officials. They're getting nose to nose now.
Very stoic.
Yeah, very stoic.
Team started the game nose to nose when the captains came out. Altercations. Now it's finishing nose to nose with the axe committees down there.
Bears will kick this away from the 30-yard line. It's that high hopper that a man will just fall on at the 26-yard line. And I would expect the Cardinal will just take a knee here and be done with it. But a pretty complete victory for the Stanford Cardinal today.
Here are two of the happiest guys in California tonight. Jim Harbaugh and Andrew Luck getting that rivalry game victory that eluded them last year because of an interception Luck threw Mike Muhammad late in the game. Stanford State getting over the hump, another step for the Stanford Cardinal program, which is just red hot 2010.
It really is, and as good as Andrew Luck is, and he is, and I think he should be really, as we said earlier, at least in the Heisman conversation. Well, they don't take a knee, they give it to Stewart, and that's going to do it. So Stewart, the senior, gets the final carry of this 113th big game, and there's the exchange of the axe. And it will now be for the next year in the hands of the Stanford Rally Committee. Now they will present the axe to their players, their team, and their coach. And right now, Rebecca Harlow is with Andrew Luck. Rebecca.
Guys, down here with Andrew Luck. First things first, you get the axe for the very first time in your career. What does it mean to win it back for your school?
It's very special. It's a good moment for Stanford. I'm very happy about it.
We got to talk about that first 58-yard run of yours. I think you might have set the tone. How'd you get it done with that shoulder?
I don't know. I didn't expect him to come up high, and I guess inertia, the momentum. I don't know.
Earlier this week, you talked about how this game, the big games, defines the entire season. Andrew Luck is being inundated with Heisman Trophy cheers. But Andrew, you talked about how this game sets the tone for the season. What can you say about the season now?
I think, we still have one game left, so we're definitely not satisfied, but we're definitely on the right track, and it was good to get a good win against Cal.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks very much, Rebecca. Well, I mean, that's what this big game is all about. The Stanford football team, their coaches, their fans, take it to their fans in the stands, the people that have made this trip up from the South Bay, and a very happy moment for Stanford and a long time coming here at Strawberry Canyon.
It has been a while since the year 2000, and Jim Harbaugh, the wonders he's worked with this Stanford program are without a doubt amazing. For those of us that know Pac-10 football and know what Stanford has and who they can bring in and what their academic requirements are, it really is something to behold. And with a quarterback like Andrew Luck, you have to say the sky's the limit this year, and there's still a lot of time left in college football. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, there is still a lot, and again, LSU was losing. Stanford could conceivably move a little bit further up in the rankings. That is a wrap for us from here at Memorial Stadium. The Cardinal win it 48-14. Stay tuned. Big 12 action. Missouri and Iowa State coming up the next Friday. We'll be back in the Pac-10. It'll be UCLA and Arizona State. For my partners, Petros Papadakis and Rebecca Harlow, I'm Barry Tompkins. You have been watching Pac-10 College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips Televisions. Stanford wins the big game. So long, everybody.